this is Sonya with Artsy Solutions, and I have a quick little share that I want to do, and it's a card. It's a birthday card that I made for my father. He's going to be 73 years old, coming up in a little bit. So basically I just cut out tags and added on this little, what do you call it, time thing on here, and it swivels. And happy birthday. I stamped that, stamped the balloons and the little present, and I just added a button and some twine, and this piece of fabric back here, this is some muslin. I just basically stamped on it and sprayed it just to kind of give it a background image, and I kind of layered it with just different types of cardstock and this little picture wheel punch. And so this is the outside, and then here's the inside. It's pretty simple. It just has his age, or the age that he's going to be, and then I'm just going to write a sentiment in here before I give it to him. So I made it using some Recollections paper, card and envelope set. So it's kind of plain, but it still works. So let me go ahead and show you how I made it. I'm making a card for my father. He's going to be 73 years old this year, and he likes vintage type stuff, so that's perfect for me because that's what I love, is vintage. So I'm just going to make him a little birthday card or whatever, and I'm going to use the Tim Holtz clear stamps, Stampers Anonymous. Which one is this? This is Things Talk. And I'm going to use this stamp that I got from Recollections. It's just like a vintage script. I'm going to use some of this color box ink, chalk, archival ink. And then I die cut. I found some scrap paper, and I die cut this picture wheel and with this die. And I've got, it's a envelope and I got two cards, a card and envelope set, and I got it from Recollections. This was like $3, I think. And so let me set one of these over to the side. I've got this right here. I'm probably going to use one of these tags that says time has a wonderful way of showing us what really matters. And this one comes from Stamperia Clockwise. And then I'm also going to use, I think I've got a sheet of paper in here, Tim Holtz memorandum. I'm taking a sheet from out of there. I think this comes from there. Yeah, I think it comes from that one. I've got several different sets of Tim Holtz paper pads, especially since they're going out. And then I just have some scrap blank papers. So we're going to see what we can come up with. Oh, and I also have, I might use this acetate. I have a little piece of acetate. I don't know if you can see that or not. I've got that. I've got this faux gimp. And then I'm going to probably make a hand, what do you call it? Those, like the clock hands out of this scrap piece of black paper. And I may use this button. It's like a time button, a gear or whatever. And then I've got some brads that I'll use to put the clock hands on. We'll see. I've got ideas. And I may use some cheesecloth and some muslin. We're going to see. Matter of fact, let me just go ahead and do that. I think I am going to experiment a little bit. First, I'm just going to cut a little piece, just a small piece of this muslin. because I don't want it to take too much space on the card. And I'm probably going to stamp on it and then maybe spritz it just a little bit. So let me try stamping it first. Let me move this out of the way, slide this over, and I'm just going to take this color box, oops, I'm just going to take this color box chalk ink and stamp. And I'm just going to randomly stamp on here. And it actually picks up pretty decent. Then I think I'm just going to go back over it again with some pigment ink, some black pigment ink. Let me wipe this off. That way it'll kind of show up. But I'm going to stamp it on the opposite direction. Yeah, okay. It's just enough to give it like a pattern. Okay, so we're going to set that stamp block to the side. And now that we've got that stamped, I think I'm just going to spray just a little bit of blue spray on there. And I've got some alcohol ink. This is from Bakers and Crafters. This is really good ink. And I'm just going to barely put just a little bit on there. Just enough to get like a tint of blue, because I am going to be working in blue. And I don't want to overpower this, but I just wanted it just to have like a hint. And I'm just going to take my fingers and the part that's still kind of damp or wet, I'm going to take some of the ink off of it and smear it on the rest of the muslin, just to make it look like it's blended in. So, and it's not too strong on one side and not enough on the other side. So that's what we have. I'm going to use that piece, and I'm going to go ahead and let me go ahead and make the card first of all. So this card is, let's see, what size is this? It's a 5 by 6.5 inch, or 12.7 centimeters by 16.5 centimeters, or cubic meters, whatever that is. So I'm going to need a piece of paper for the inner portion of this. One that's 6 1/4 by 9 3/4. 9 3/4 by 6 1/4. I think I'll use blue. So I'm going to grab this paper, and do a long size fitting 9 3/4 by 6 1/4. Did I do that right? Probably not. 9 3/4. Yeah, about 6 1/4. I did something wrong. So that's 9 3/4. Oh, I did 8 instead of 6. 6 1/4. There we go. So this is going to go on the inside of the card. So I'm just going to go ahead and fold this over in half. Because I like to make sure that this is already even before I fold it into there. And I'm just going to smooth it down. I'm going to go ahead and line it up right here and just make sure that it's going to fit right. And it should. So yeah, it'll fit. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and glue. I typically like to just go ahead and glue one side first. So I'll just put my glue on the outer edge. And you don't really need a whole lot of this this art glitter glue because it's pretty strong. But you can use whatever type glue that you are comfortable using. Any glue will work. Okay, so I'm just going to flip it over and I'm going to place it down and try to center it as best I can before I apply pressure. And I make sure I leave a little bit of room up against the margin, like just a little, like near that crease. That way when you go to close it, it's not going to like bulk up in the middle. So now that I see that it looks like it's pretty much lined up where I want it, I'm just going to go ahead and apply pressure. And then I'm just going to add glue on this side. And do the same thing. I'm just going to close this down onto it. And then, voila. It should be stuck. It should be glued now. And we have our inner card. So now that we've got that, then we need one for the outside. I'm also do blue on the outside. So I'm just going to take the remaining blue that I had cut down. And the good thing is it doesn't have to be the exact same size. Like, I don't have to cover the entire background with blue. I can use another color. So I'm just going to take this and cut it down to, let's see, that was, so 4 3/4. So let me cut this down to 4 3/4. I'm just going to keep it really simple and smooth that edge down. I'm going to go ahead and glue this on. Okay, and then I'm going to take, let's see, oh, let me set that over there. I'm going to take a piece of this memorandum paper and cut it down to 5 3/4. Or actually 4 3/4, my bad. 4 3/4. Yeah. Okay. So I think I wanted to stress around the edges of this, or just better yet, I'm just going to take an alcoholic marker and I'm just going to go around the edge of this to make it more pronounced. And then I'm just going to glue it on. This is going to be really simple. We're not going to make it complicating today. Okay, so we've got that on there. And then I'm gonna have to have room. Let's see, I think I'll put a piece of memoranda paper on the inside of here. I think I'll just take a piece of this. So if this is If this is 6.5, I just need one that's 6 by 4.5. 4.5 by 6. So we've got 6 on this wide side. And then it's going to be 4.5 with the height. And we're going to put this on the inside of the card. And I'm going to also go around the edges. I just want to glue it on the inside. Keeping with the theme. Okay, so we've got that. So now I also want to have writing space on here, so I'm just going to take, I think I'll take a piece of blue and then a piece of white. Okay, so if this right here is 5 by 3 3/4, then I need 3.5 by 4 3/4. 3.5 by 4 3/4. And let's see what we got. Yes, that'll be perfect. So we're just going to go ahead and glue that on to the blue. I love to use wet glue because I can never line it up correctly. So that's why I love to use wet glue, so you can fix your mistakes and line it up the way it's supposed to be. Okay, I think this is good enough. And then I'm just going to go ahead and then I'm going to glue this on. Okay, and then we'll come back, we'll revisit the center. So let's go back to the outside and our decorations. So what I want to do, I'm going to go ahead, let me set this to the side. I'm going to go ahead and cut out this tag. Then I'm going to take a circle punch, a hole punch, and punch that. And that's fine. But Yeah, I think that'll work. I'm gonna set that to the side. And I'm just gonna take the marker. And we're gonna go around the inner portions and the outer. We're gonna highlight this right here, the same way we did the backdrops of the envelope, the card, the inner card and the outer part of that card. Okay, so now we've got that. And that's really pretty. I love that background. I was going to put this on another background, but I think I'll leave it solid the way it is. So we need to find a way to put this on here as well as use the die cut window, not window frame, but this right here, the picture wheel. So we're going to have to try to make an arrangement for that. So let me cut, I'm going to just cut a little piece of this. No specific size, I just randomly cut a little piece. And then I think I want to take some blue and glue it to the blue, and then glue the blue to the black. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and glue a portion of this on here to kind of give it a border. And then we're just going to cut that down. And then we're going to need some black. Yeah. Oh. See if I can still slide it down. Once again, that's why I always say use wet glue. That way you can fix it in case something slides and you don't even realize it until after it's already pretty much glued down. So we're just going to glue the remaining part of this on here, and then we're going to glue this and add glue here, and we're just going to add it to this black cardstock. And we're going to form a border for it too. So make sure it's on there good, and then we're just going to cut it out. Now I think I'm going to add some cheesecloth. So like I said, I want some layers. I'm just going to get this little small piece. I love these scissors. These are the best, because they may be small, those embroidery scissors, but they cut anything. Okay, so let's see what we have with our layers. So this is pretty much it. It says happy birthday, and then you know the time and all that stuff. And then I'm just going to write a sentiment in here and put a little bit of money or something. So I hope this video was helpful and you liked it. And if you did, please just give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Check out my other videos and my social media sites. And as always, thanks so much for watching.